common question a lot of folks have when they're setting up their shop is, what are some of the essentials that I'll need? That's of course based on what you're intending to do in your shop, but you can quickly identify a few key tools that are right at home in any wood shop, metal shop, or even normal garage. So let's start with one you probably weren't thinking about right away, but absolutely makes a list, and that is a benchtop grinder. This is a Grizzly G0865 8-inch bench grinder. Well, it's the box to get when you order one. And let me show you what's inside and why a grinder is right for your shop. As you can see, they're a pretty straightforward machine, and you can get it up and running really quickly. In the metal shop, a bench grinder is great for when you really want to dig into some metal and get down to a nice clean surface for welding prep, or deburring work edges and maybe adding a small radius to a workpiece, or getting your tungsten ground down to rough form for TIG welding. Now, adding a wire wheel is great for removing paint or cleaning threads on bolts, which can save you a ton of time and frustration when you accidentally cross-thread bolts and then have to go back and re-tap. So on the woodworking side of things, bench grinders are perfect for basically things like getting a chisel ready for finish honing or getting them down to size, or again, cleaning up bolts and hardware that you intend to use for your projects. For any shop or garage, having a compact yet powerful machine is a big plus, and this little G0865 features a Stout half horsepower motor, and that is 3,450 RPM wheel rotation. This machine accepts grinding wheels with a 5/8 inch bore, but always make sure that you pick out your wheels that can handle the RPM and are the right bore size for your machine. The key to making the tasks that I mentioned earlier possible are a stout tool rest like this, which provides a solid anchor point for grinding. You want to maintain a 1/16 to 1/8 inch gap between the tool rest and the wheel. When your rest no longer allows you to hold that tolerance with the wheel, it's time to change out the wheels. On the G0865, you'll notice a little V groove on the left side of the tool rest. That little groove is designed to help you control the angle of contact with the grinding wheel when doing things like chamfering the edges of a workpiece. The tool rest also tilts from 0 to 45 degrees and locks into place. Another cool feature found on bench grinders is the spark deflector guard, which saves the user from getting pieces of workpiece or grinding wheel thrown back at them. The deflector should be spaced approximately 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch from the wheel. It's always important to keep your clear safety shield installed, as it's your first line of defense against sparks. But remember, you should always wear PPE when grinding. On this G0865 grinder, there's a little bonus feature of an LED light built in. Now, each light requires 2 AAA batteries to operate. Wherever you're doing your grinding, it's a good practice to ensure that the grinder is bolted down to the workbench, or you could always use a heavy-duty stand, which Grizzly has some great options to choose from that'll fit or can be modified to fit your grinder. It's also really handy to have a wheel dresser around to clean up the grinding wheel surface. A wheel dresser is an affordable item to have on hand, and it quickly cleans up beat up grinding wheel surfaces, exposing new grain to work with. Another great thing to have near your grinder is a pair of locking pliers for holding smaller workpieces to help keep your hands away from the work area. So that's a quick look at the G0865 8-inch bench grinder, a few tips on setup, and why a bench grinder really is a must-have tool for any shop or home garage. We'd love to see what you're up to with your Grizzly bench grinder, so be sure to tag us on Instagram at Grizzly Industrial or with the hashtag GrizzlyTools, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more from Grizzly Industrial.